This machine right here has been my ball machine of choice. It is the Titan 1, and it stores everything inside here. It packs quite a few balls. These are all super high quality pressureless balls. And it's been my ball machine of choice for obvious reasons. Extremely high quality, so much versatility that you can do. It has an app, which gives you so much control over how the ball machine behaves. You can mix up drills, randomize things, etc. However, there is another machine that I have that is actually price-wise and feature-wise quite competitive. This is where I've been keeping it. We're gonna take this out to the courts. I'm gonna show you what this machine is all about. This is the PUSUN Smart. Kind of a funny name, huh? But you can buy this on Amazon. I have a link for you in the description. If you ever wanted a crazy ball machine like the Titan, but it was a little too much money for you, this is almost half of the price. And we're gonna break it down here so that you can decide if this one makes sense for you. It comes with a remote. The phone also works as a remote. And yeah, let's take this out to the court. I will say more very soon. This is the portable battery. So it's removable. Obviously that's nice. That way you can charge the battery without having to move the machine around. Just gonna put that there. Remote. And the machine. This is a Model 3 Tesla. Gonna fit it in kind of like this. It's quite a bit lighter than the Titan. It's around 30 pounds, and it definitely takes up less space. However, you do need a way to carry the balls. So I'll put some balls in here, and we'll just use these. You'll understand more in a second. So depending on how you like to store things, you could bring a basket like that. But I think I'll just take some pressureless balls out of my Titan here because I don't really like picking up balls with those traditional ball helpers. So while this is slightly tedious for now, this will actually be the fastest way to deal with it later. Okay. All right, let's head to some courts. So I've made this case a couple of times. I think having a ball machine is an absolute, I'd say must. I mean, if you're trying to get better and you have the time to get out there, even if you're taking lessons or if you're not, it's just the convenience of getting those reps in, hitting a forehand or a backhand or literally whatever shot you're working on over and over and over again is so valuable to your tennis growth. Just having a machine, I think, is so much better than not having a machine. It's a one-time cost pretty much, right? A coach, 50 bucks an hour, maybe more. I mean, definitely more in quite a few places. I don't want to say too much because I feel like the value of a ball machine should speak for itself for most people, but there are definitely some people out there that are like, nah, there's nothing like playing with a real person. And you're right. But there's also nothing like playing with a machine. You don't have to schedule with your ball machine. You can just go out anytime you feel like it, as long as the battery is charged, right? So if you're thinking about getting a ball machine, this is definitely one to consider. And if you haven't been thinking about it, I would consider it. Regardless of however much you spend on one, I'd consider getting something. Anyway, we are at the courts. You can watch how I unload and set this thing up so you get an idea of how the portability works. It's a little different from my Titan. Everyone's car's gonna fit things a little differently, right? So this is actually the sleeve that goes on top and it just kind of slides on like that. Does that show on frame? So this is actually how the balls are gonna go in. This is how you hold the balls. And that's how you put the machine away. This will be how you carry it to the court, obviously. Alrighty. Hey, amen to that, right? I wonder if there's room for like a little Sharpie right here. I can put in pickleball. Obviously you'll line this up on the tee over here. All right, first order of business, we're gonna flip that bucket over, right? Pretty much just wedges into place. It doesn't attach in any sophisticated way, but it really doesn't need to. So that's that. And if you're using the Titan rolling ball hopper like I am, it's a matter of just spreading it open at the bottom and letting them fall through. I don't know exactly how many balls it is, but I'll show you how full it looks. And the next step would be to connect this battery, which is in a case, obviously, and it attaches and threads on just like that. And I guess since I have the opportunity to, I will put this kind of in the shade here. But again, it's in a case, I'm not really worried about that. And we'll turn it on. When it turns on, it's gonna straighten itself out a little bit. Make sure it's facing straight so that the machine is properly calibrated. Yep, that's good. So that's how many balls are in here, and you can see that there's quite a bit more room. I'd say maybe 3 loads of that amount could fit in here pretty comfortably. The motor is spinning, so it's ready to feed. I'm gonna stop that for now. I'll be using this to control things since my phone is busy recording. So at this point I have opened the app and I'm going to now press scan. Although my machine's already showing up, but that's what you'll do. And this will pop up, you'll select it, and now you're in the app. I'll run through a few options here so you can see generally how these pre-programmed things are set to function. But I'll start with something basic here. If you go up and down on the direction here, you'll see V angle, that's vertical angle, and then horizontal angle will be controlled with this left and right. Frequency is how often a ball comes out. Speed is obviously speed. I'm gonna put a little bit of topspin on there. And let's see how that goes. I'll start with some volleys. I'm testing this KI-10 from Prokenix, by the way. The 290, which you can't find in America, but maybe I can change that, we'll see. Anyway, let's head back to the baseline. I could use a little bit more speed on these balls, right? You can see the machine changing its angle a little bit when I press that button. It's the horizontal axis. Yes, the machine will auto-detect when it is empty and stop feeding balls accordingly. So that's nice. Pick some of these up and then see what's going on with that remote there. So the machine has to be on for the remote speed inputs to register. I'm gonna lower the height a little bit now. There we go. Maybe one more click. And more speed. Come on. How much you got? Ooh, heavy. All right. Yep, these are real pace to these. Ooh. We out of balls? Oh no, there's one more in there. I see it. Kind of wish I brought more balls, but that's my fault. All right, we have it set to random. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a high one. That's a high one. Oh, for slippers and a lav mic. Oh my gosh, go easy on me, please. Oh no. There we go, that's a good shot. What if I approach net, huh? So the difference with this machine too is you can kind of see where it's gonna aim. And maybe it's not quite as intelligent as the Titan because some of these balls are going out, but it's not a big deal. I think the general benefit of random balls is definitely felt, but yeah, the machine does telegraph its intentions a little more than the Titan. But to be honest, that's never been a big deal for me. It's kind of a little cherry on top, but yeah, there it is. And I will be reviewing more machines in the future, so stay tuned. I've got some other interesting comparisons coming up. So this is going to be a highly personal preference kind of thing. Some people are going to prefer the portability of this machine and they're not going to mind carrying some kind of separate storage device for the balls. I prefer having the all-in-one, kind of like the Titan. Titan also makes a ball machine called the Titan Ace, and it has a very similar storage system to this where the bucket flips upside down and fits flush on the body for maximum portability. However, I find it a little bit annoying to have to put the balls in a separate device, but I like just being able to leave the balls in the machine and not have to think about it, you know? That's just me personally. So again, this is gonna be something that's maybe a deal breaker for some people, not gonna matter very much, or people are absolutely going to prefer the portability of this device over something like the Titan. So I'm not even over here saying that it's a good or a bad thing. It's just a personal preference. But if I'm being honest, I prefer the all-in-one design just for the simplicity of moving it around and storing the balls. Speaking of which, I use these Titan pressureless balls. They're amazing. They feel so much like a real ball and they stay that way for so freaking long. So if you have a ball machine, this is obviously the way to go. I don't recommend using old balls from a can, like balls you've hit with once or twice and you just throw it in the machine to kind of recycle them. they just keep going more and more dead. You start adjusting to really flat balls and bad bounces. These perform very consistently, and again, so close to the real thing. A lot of people, you could switch this out and they would have no idea that you're using pressureless balls. They're that good. And this rolling hopper saves a lot of time when picking up balls, obviously. Also pretty portable. Links for all this is in my description. Here are the two machines side by side, PUSUN on the left and Titan on the right. This should give you some idea of what the size discrepancy is between the two. That is the side view, and this is kind of the top down view. And in a second here, I'll flip that bucket over so you can see when it's actually on, how tall it is compared to the Titan. And there it is. I hope that gives you a good idea of the size difference between the two. This is the pack that holds the battery, and it's a clever idea to put the remote in here. You got this little pouch pocket, and that will obviously minimize any risk of you losing or misplacing the remote. Charging the battery is simple. You plug this in to the wall and then to the battery. The light is red to indicate that it is charging. It will be green when it's done. If you want to see the Titan compared to the Slinger bag, both of which are fair comparisons, if you want to see what you get for the price, I did a video on both of those machines a while back, so I will link that in the description. I talk about the pros and the cons and what my personal opinion is on each ball machine and why one might be better for you than the other. And there are some big differences. But those are always going to matter more or less depending on what your priorities are, budget is, and how often or how you practice. And here's a quick glance at the Titan app, which I think is quite a bit more telling visually. It will show you the trajectory of the ball, as well as the angle, and all the settings are kind of laid out in a way that I think are a little more intuitive. So overall, I have to say that the Titan is a better machine, but it is roughly $1,000 more. So for $1,000 less, you can get a similarly performing machine that holds almost as many balls as the Titan does, with an app that might be slightly clunkier, but can do virtually everything that the Titan does. And maybe you prefer its portability. Maybe you prefer to carry your balls outside of the machine. Or maybe you don't, but $1,000 is enough to make up that difference for you. Whatever the case is, it's nice to have both options, isn't it? And I hope this review was helpful in you deciding whether or not you want a ball machine, and if so, potentially which one. If you want to buy the PUSUN, link is here as well as in the description. And if you're interested in the Titan, I have a link that gets you $100 off. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, or if you have already made a purchase, let me know about it. And if you want to save 20% on a tennis racket, go over to directtennisshop.online. Link below, code ZeroLove gets you 20% off of everything. A lot of people ask, is it legit? Yes, it's legit. You can get 20% off of a racket, 20% off of a reel. Shipping is free, so enjoy those savings. Thank you so much again for watching all the way to the end, and please be sure to check out the links below if you want to get to know some amazing products. I am very picky, which I'm sure you figured out if you've watched any of my content. Every product I represent meets an extremely high bar, and you get a discount. All links help support the channel, much appreciated, and subscribing means a lot as well. So I will see you in the comments, a future video, or maybe my DMs on Instagram. I'll see you guys next time, and happy hitting. Bye for now.